give a round of applause to Nancy. And I just met Nancy through Joanna, so I'm going to let her talk about, I did go on her websites, and she specializes in hair extensions, hair replacement, and medical grade wigs, and more. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to the old school stylists like Rhonda, because they really do care about the hair. And I had the honor to learn from the old school stylists. Okay, now the new school stylists. I'm seeing a lot of damage. Okay, most people when they come and see me, I have to do the repair work. I have to clean up the mess. I have to help them regrow their hair or cover up the permanent hair loss. Okay, so I specialize in hair extensions. That's not weaves. Hair extensions is for someone who has probably straight hair and just wants to add natural length to their hair, just some pieces in between, okay? Hair weaves are a little more technical, and that's when you get into the nets, you know, and braiding and stuff like that. So I am also a fashion stylist here in Boston, so I work with wonderful photographers like Joanna, makeup artist, and we create magic. So you're going to see some of the pictures on the screen of some of the work that I've done. Those are my styles. You're going to see some interesting stuff soon. But I started about 17 years ago, and the reason why I started and I got into this is because I went to a stylist, and he was like, "Oh, Nance, I want to put some lightener in the front of your hair." And I was like, "What's lightener? Is that bleach?" He was like, "No, it's lightener." I'm like, "Okay," because I trust my stylist. They're going to give me the right information. So he put lightener in the front. It looked fabulous. I loved it. So the following week, I was like, "Okay, could you lighten the rest of my hair?" So he did, and my hair fell off. Okay? So my hair fell off, and I was very vain about my hair. I used to walk around with my mirror in my purse. So this was a problem, okay? So then I started to glue some tracks in between. I didn't know anything about weaves. Then I learned the hard way, that's not good. That's a problem. So I don't do any of the services that I do. I do not deal with glue. I encourage my clients to stay away from glue. As a matter of fact, I went to Manhattan and I got certified in diffusion because I was like, wow, $1,500 I could charge for one client? Sounds good to me. I went down there, I spent $2,900, did the class, and once I learned what it was, I still have not done not one client because I don't respect it, okay? And what it is they use the word protein bond because it's bond, which is really glue, and they add a drop of protein or keratin, okay? So it's very manipulative. To take it off, you have to use acetone on the hair. I have a friend of mine, he's a pharmacist, and he was like, whatever you put on your hair, it goes to your scalp and could get to your brain. Why would they use acetone? And I was like, well, I know I wouldn't do it to myself, and I definitely will not do it to my clients because I care. So back to the acetone. Acetone strips paint. As a matter of fact, in class they told us to dilute the acetone with alcohol so that the clients wouldn't be able to tell what the smell was, okay? And that alone, I'm like, okay, I can't respect that, and I'm not going to be a part of that, so I would not do it. I have a nonprofit in Boston. What I do is I do makeovers with my partner, Joanna, and we do makeovers. We go sometimes to the hospital, and we'll give them a free wig and makeup and do a beautiful photo shoot with just them or their loved one. And that's something that's very dear to my heart that I had to put down for a little bit because I started my for-profit at the same time as my nonprofit. So God put it in my spirit to focus on my profit, and when it becomes successful, to come back and continue on, okay? So I'm going to talk about a few tips for weaving. If you have someone that's putting weaving in your hair, make sure that they moisturize the hair before they braid it. The braiding causes a lot of friction, and it could cause your hair to break. And like Rhonda said, if the hair doesn't have elasticity, a lot of the clients who come to see me, okay, if it doesn't have elasticity, it will break. Sorry. So a lot of the clients who come to see me, they're either in an in-between stage, which is they're either trying to grow out the relaxer, and they're not ready to let it go. They're not ready to just cut it off. So they just have to kind of go through baby steps. So we'll just go through it together. And normally I weave it up, and then, you know, the hair grows out after that, okay? So again, make sure that they put a net if your hair's short or if you have thinning areas like in the hairline. A lot of times we have traction alopecia. And traction alopecia is just whenever you have like single braids and it's growing out. And a lot of the times what we do is we put it tight in a ponytail to kind of, you know, get it back fresh. And that causes the hair to break off. And a lot of times you get permanent balding, permanent scarring along the hairline. And that's called scarring alopecia, or traction alopecia. And the hair won't grow back in those areas. One of the services that I do at my office, besides the hair extensions and the fashion hair, is the light therapy. So we have a light therapy, and I had a client of mine, she's an older lady, she came in and she said, you know, Nance, the only thing that ever worked for my hair loss was this light therapy when I did it years ago. And I was like, light therapy, cancer. So I was like, let me research this. I researched it for about 2-3 years. So I do have it in my office now. Originally, this light was used to treat people who had ulcers and lower extremities, and then what they found out was that it was making the hair grow really fast in the lower extremities, okay? So it is a treatment that does work. These are just other options for cosmetic, for people who want to regrow their hair, people who have thinning, men who can't, you know, who lost their hair, at least there's options. This light therapy does not work if you have scarring alopecia or if you have traction alopecia. If the area is scarred, then it's permanently gone and it's not going to grow back, okay? So, does anybody have questions? Oh, wait. Okay, so for the Paul Mitchell, I love Paul Mitchell. Love, 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 love Paul Mitchell. And the shampoo that she's talking about, the purifying, the clarifying shampoo. That's it, what it does is it strips all the impurities off, and it's just really, really, really strong. So it's stronger than shampoo. So what you want to use is clarifying shampoo, okay? And Paul Mitchell is a wonderful line. I use it as well.
Where are you located?
231 Newbury Street in Boston, Copley.
Questions? No, okay, great. Thank you, Nancy.
So no questions?
Oh,
Okay.
dry scalp.
It's a lot. I would definitely say to see a dermatologist, okay? Because what happens is I have a lot of clients who come in, they've seen a lot of dermatologists, and they're just not seeing the right dermatologist. Then I have some clients who come in and will have one patch of hair here and one patch of hair there. They'll go see another dermatologist, and their hair comes back. So it really depends on the experience. Are you going to someone who specializes in black hair? There's a difference. I have all types of clients, and our hair is different. It needs more moisture, and sometimes they want us to do a shampoo and conditioner every day. That's not for our hair. We can't do that every day. We need the oils that we do get from our hair naturally, from our scalp. So when we do that every day, it just is not good. It dries out our hair even more. It gives us more of a problem. It's like dogs. You're not supposed to bathe them more than once a month. They need their natural oils for their fur, for their coating to be healthy. Or they'll start to get itchy, dry, flaky skin. Mm-hmm. Did you have something?
I have a question about the light therapy to help with hair growth. My son is 27, and he's actually experiencing hair loss. And I was just wondering, is that something you would recommend for males that are experiencing that?
Yes, I have males that come in. Normally, they encourage you to wait 3 to 6 months and do the program, at least 3 to 6 months to stick to the program. I've done the therapy on clients with hair extensions, taken it out, well, weaves, taking them out, and within 6 weeks, we see a big difference. So I do have male clients, and it does work, okay? He's young, so I mean, if he sees a dermatologist first, and they tell him that it's not scarred, like he didn't have a chemical burn, or it's just male pattern baldness, yes, it does work. It does work for that, okay? So did you guys see the crazy hair stuff? Did anybody notice it, or we're too busy focusing over here? So originally when I first, oh, somebody else had a question. Yeah. No? Okay. Yeah. Yep, I understand. So I do weaves. I do hair extensions as well. I was just explaining what each of them are, okay? So what that lady had, she had the medical wig, which is the lace wig, okay? And with people with alopecia, the issue that I was having is I wanted to just make everyone feel beautiful. But some people don't have enough hair for me to braid and put a net and put a weave. So then when this technology was exposed and I got to understand more about it, I started to bring it to my clients who have hair loss, like complete hair loss. Okay.
They do have the the light treatment. You had a video.
Oh, okay.
So they have that cued, so we'll watch that right now.
You may think balding is a guy problem, but female hair loss affects a staggering 40 million women, some as early as age 35. So right now, we are finding out everything about the problem called the dirty little secret of dermatology. Please welcome Dr. Doris Day. Okay. Wow.
Why is that a dirty little secret? Well, you know, there are a few things that I see in my practice that are more devastating than female hair loss. I can see the smartest, most confident, most beautiful woman, and as soon as she starts seeing hair falling out, she falls to pieces. And the numbers will surprise you. Up to 50% of women by age 50, and even higher in African Americans, where 2/3 of women by the age of 50, African American women, have significant hair loss. And it starts earlier in women than it does in men. So even in their early 30s, late 20s, women already notice hair loss.
Is it more devastating to women than to men?
You know, men have choices. They may not like losing their hair, but it certainly doesn't affect their ability to get a job, to get married, to have kids. But women start losing hair, and they don't want to go out. They don't socialize.
Does it affect us the same as far as the hair loss?
Men and women do have different patterns of hair loss. So men will notice a temporal recession, and they'll see the hairline receding and then loss in the crown. Women keep the frontal hairline, and then they lose in the crown. Some have it more focally. Some can lose it very diffusely over the whole crown. But there are different types of hair loss in women. So there's one called telogen effluvium. Now this is not a true hair loss. It's really a hair shedding, where 3 or so months after a stress, the hair goes into a different cycle. And so you may lose up to 40% of your hair. So this is after childbirth or chemo or marriage or divorce or some major stress in your life. But that hair does grow back. The next type is something called alopecia areata. These are round patches of hair loss. It's an autoimmune condition, and we now have a genetic understanding behind this, so we might be able to find treatments for it. And but this should be diagnosed by your dermatologist. Another type of hair loss is called androgenetic alopecia. This is true hair loss, tends to be inherited from either your mother or your father's side, or sometimes both if you're really unlucky. And you see a widening of the part early, and then it kind of goes like the charts that we saw, where you lose in the crown area. Then another type that was more common in African American women was traction alopecia, but now with hair extensions and all the different treatments that we do in the hair, it can cause permanent scarring hair loss, and that's really problematic.
Hair extensions and stuff.
And all the relaxers and different treatments we're doing.
Processing too much.
Yes, processing and pulling, tight ponytails or braids.
But that's temporary, right?
No, over time it becomes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you do it enough, it can be permanent and scarring. Lynn has a lot of public appearances and was really concerned about her hair loss.
Okay.
And she has the androgenetic type, the inherited type that was getting worse over time. So she came in, and for about a year, we've been doing low-level laser therapy for this. And today I have the IllumaWave with me, and this is a very nice treatment where it has over 180 diodes. These are low-level lasers that are true laser biostimulation of the follicle. And you sit under it for about 20 minutes at a time, and over 80% of people will have the hair stop falling out, and a significant number will have hair grow back, thicker, darker, fuller. Her hair had gone gray. She was coloring it lighter, and the new hair is growing in black in her original
Does this
color.
work on a man?
This works on men as well.
As well as African-American women?
Absolutely. Great results. And I have some before and afters for
pattern
you.
baldness, you can use this and it'll grow the hair back?
It depends how far along. The closer you get to having, so it's much easier not to lose the hair than it is to replace it.
Okay.
So sometimes you're doing your friends a favor. If you kind of notice a little bit of a pattern, just to sort of have that conversation with them, because there's so much you can do these days.
Now, what does it cost?
It varies in cost depending on how much you're doing, so it goes by time. Typically, it's a few $100s. But you know what I find is that for women who are losing their hair, to not lose your hair, you think about what we spend on coloring.
Our thanks to Dr. Day. Her book, Forget the Facelift, is available online and in stores now. For more information, you can check our website. We'll be right back. Hey, girl, you got to pull that off.
I wanted to share something really quick. So when I started, because I started on myself, and then the kids in the neighborhood were like, I grew up in Dorchester, they were like, Nance, who does your hair? I'm like, I do it. They're like, wow, do mine. And that's when I started getting money. I would go to people's house, I would charge them $60, free delivery, everything, you know. And, I just stuck to my goal. I had my daughter. I have 4 kids now. I had my daughter when I was 14 years old. Okay, so statistically, I'm not supposed to be where I am today. But I did not stop. I didn't become that statistic, and neither did I let my daughter become that. So I'm very strict. I take care of my business. I discipline my kids. And I just want everyone to know that we're all beautiful, okay? And just stick to your goals and love each other and grow and surround yourself with positive, loving people, and feed your spirit. Keep coming to church and feed your spirit and be encouraged, okay? That's all.
Amen. Thank you.